4,500,000 now, 4,800,000, $5 million, 5,200,000, 5,500,000. Selling in the centre then, all done. And 5,500,000 bids this side, not yours here, at £5 million.
Modern art, pop art, commercial art, agitprop. More the names, more the definitions. But do we know what pop art is all about? Do we understand it? Do we appreciate it? Is it too quirky? Are we blandly urbane or are we empirical? Is pop art just a stopgap or is it here to stay? Do we hate it or do we want it? Pop art reflected the new wealth, consumerism and the light-hearted attitudes that followed the austerity of the post-war period. It was also a reaction against the abstract expressionism, the dominant art movement of the 1950s, which was serious and inward-looking. Pop art, as opposed to this, was playful and ironic and ignored the rules of traditional art world. Marilyn Monroe, the Mona Lisa, a Coca-Cola bottle, Superman. If it was famous, Andy Warhol made it into art. He said that in the future, everybody would be famous for 15 minutes. Pop art was born then and is taking many shapes even today. What is pop art after all? We found out. From Mumbai to Chennai and from Kochi to Kolkata, the creative industries of India incite and inform a population of over 1 billion. In this crowded and colorful world, innovation is often born out of necessity and scanty resources. They come in many forms, from personalized bodywork of vehicles to local advertisements, from political posters to lavish Bollywood publicity hoardings. The result is a celebration that is a reflection of religious, political and the cultural diversity of this country.
So basically, both Rahul and me are graduates from institute called MICA, which is in marketing communication. While we were in Hyderabad and looking for a house for ourselves or looking for things for ourselves, nobody was giving us anything because we were single people. So that's when the initial idea came that, in this country everything is family oriented, be it cinema, be it malls, be it entertainment. So we said maybe we should come up with a company which looks at the need of the young people. That was the basic idea of Happily Unmarried. Happily Unmarried might become unhappily married, but it will not become happily married. A lot of people call us all sorts of names and they think we are everything from a matrimonial site to a dating service. But essentially we are a product company and Happily Unmarried is the fun bit of the company. The status of Happily Unmarried is the time when you just start, you just taken up a job, you're not married, you have no responsibilities. So that's a time when you really enjoy your life. So our products tend to capture that phase of your life. So it's Happily Unmarried, the mindset, which means that even unhappily married or happily married people can buy our products. The whole idea was to do products which were slightly with the Indian sensibility, which were funny, and which would appeal to people, the happily married mindset, the 14 to 44 age group, people, who've traveled abroad, who've seen things, but they appreciate the sheer Indianness of our products. So we try to design things for them, we keep them in mind, and that's the inspiration. Yeah.
Clickland is about everyday life that we see in India, things that are, as we say, mundane or you see in everyday life, and then we interpret them in an interesting way, see those things and take stories out of them.
I partnered with an artist whom I chanced upon at a Gurgaon mall. So therefore the team is a very eclectic jugaad kind of a team, and the themes, I mean, we don't say no to any stuff, so we are open to doing any sort of creative expression on almost any sort of creative medium. So therefore Jugaad Studio. Also Jugaad because it's an Indian term, it's a very desi term, and our attempt, I mean we just started, but our attempt would be to make it accessible to people. I mean art as accessible and not art as very highbrow kind of art. And so therefore Jugaad Studio. So it allows us a sort of larger playing field to experiment more with themes and popular culture themes, etc.
Since the inspiration is local culture, and we are looking at everyday life, everyday observation, things which are very, very simple but so beautiful, I think it becomes quite easy for us to just look at that. You could look at houses in Goa and they're beautiful, and there could be an inspiration around them, or they could be like a chawl in Mumbai, which is beautiful again, and you see the culture where we are from, and we can interpret them on any of those products. We really have not given a very structured kind of method to making our products. I mean, there are times when you see an artwork and you see a story, and then you say, well, this would look very, very nice in a silk scarf. We took out a pack of cards, and it was based on the 4 Mughal kings of India, and each card has a story about the king and about his wife, and the queens are the wives, and the monuments are the aces, and they're all drawn quite funnily about things like Akbar liked mangoes, for example, is one of the cards.
So we look for a match streak in all the people who design for us, and if they're madder than us, then we are even happier. We work with over 23 designers. These have been all kinds, from product, textile, graphic, from the leading design schools of the country, from people who studied abroad. Our challenge is to tell them to think of products which are relevant to us, and also are in sync with what our brand personality is about. It's really encouraging to see a lot of youngsters wanting to design for Happily Unmarried, and it really gives us a high when an intern comes up with a clever idea. In fact, a lot of our products are done by interns.
Pop art is like interpretation of the local culture. If you look at anything that is about the culture, and then you can interpret it in a very colorful, very fun way, I think it kind of turns up to be looking like pop art. Some people call us like kitsch. Some interpret us in pop art. I don't think there's any hard and fast boundaries around these categories. But what's interesting is that if people can take away a bit of the culture or a bit of the color back with them in the products that they interact with, I think that's where the fun lies.
My interpretation of pop art is sort of an inspiration of the vibrant colors and the depiction of things and artifacts and brands. Like for example, in Andy Warhol had made the Heinz ketchup bottle, and a lot of the Coca-Cola bottle, and one of the pop artists had used the Pepsi crown as so. When I looked at doing something pop art, I sort of we've done a lot of interesting work on the Ambassador, right, which is like a good old brand, nostalgic brand, giving a nostalgic feel and giving sort of a shape to the memories which are there, when I was growing up as a child, as a young person. So that's what I mean. The effort of Jugaad Studio is to bring elements from popular culture, which is Bollywood and sports icons, and the politics and the absurdity which is happening around us as we grow at a phenomenal pace. So is there a way to put that, the growth, the imbalances between the haves and the have-nots, and give that a meaning onto canvas? So that's, according to me, is what I would call pop art is, as an artistic interpretation of stuff happening in the popular culture themes around us.
If you notice, we have kept aside trucks, we have kept aside auto rickshaws, and we kept aside the Hindi film industry. So we picked up, everyday nuances. We picked up things which people say. We picked up things which mean to people.
All of Bollywood is, I would say, pop art on celluloid. I mean, we love Bollywood, we hate Bollywood, we celebrate everything. So that's a huge space. We've had our early successes. We've done only a couple of exhibitions, but there's been a lot of demand for Bollywood stuff. We've created a set of posters called Bollywood Badmaash. So it has Pran, Jeevan, Gabbar and Kulbhushan Kharbanda from the movie Shaan, and people love it. I mean, these are just characters. I mean, none of them are like sort of active in Bollywood today, but they've been lapped up. So there is a huge reservoir of stuff from our own culture. So there's no dearth of that.
To me, it's like evolving. You see a lot happening right now, and you would see that different people, artists, photographers, they're all differently interpreting things. I think one of the big changes that you see, now in the last 10 years, I would say, is that there's a lot of experimentation, a lot of awareness, a lot of drive to try new things, to do new things. So I think the boundaries are kind of blending into each other. One thing is becoming another, and it's taking another whole different form. And I think Indian art and pop art, I mean, it's taking inspiration from each other. We have a collection of Indian gods which are like really colorful and nice, but drawn in a very kind of a Japanese manga style way, or a vector art style way. And it becomes interesting because you see the same thing, it's from India, and then it's taken another form.
There's a very big difference between Indian art and pop art. Indian art is expensive. It's the thing that you can't buy. Pop art or popular Indian art is what the young people are doing. They're trying to create a range or product which appeal to them. The Indian art scene with popular art or the kind of thing we do, because that's a different niche altogether. It's sold separately, it's sold differently, it's got a different audience, it's got a different way of selling. That works primarily on work of masters. It's got a one-off pieces and prints. Whereas we are looking at how to package fun and sell it in big numbers. Our focus is to go mass, sell more, be relevant to a wider set of population. And I would buy pop art any day, even if I could afford Indian art.
Pop art or picture or whatever, I think they're trying to identify their style. So I think more and more people are getting design forward. So they are now, it's not just about something nice or expensive. It's about understanding that my style complements this style. So people find my style is pop art, or I like this. So that's why they identify brands and products which work for them. Which is the interesting change, which is what people in India now are, trying to find their own style, their signature, and I think brands are trying to find their signature, which appeals to that audience. So, in such a huge market, everybody has their style and their signature, and I think it's a marriage of sorts.
It appeals to a large extent of people, because right now the market right now is limited. The people who can buy these products are. Because these are the kind of products that we make right now are very limited. Not everybody will buy a short run. One of the biggest challenges in India is that we have very limited production capabilities. Now it is very easy for anybody to start importing things from China or Thailand or wherever. What we try to do is, one of the focus is to encourage Indian manufacturing. So we work with a lot of Indian artisans, we work with a lot of Indian exporters who now don't get so much work because a lot of business goes to China. So I guess the greatest challenge is that we are limited in terms of materials. The kind of stuff that can happen, say, abroad, we are not so ready with it now. So the challenge is to use the existing skill sets and manufacturing capabilities and come up with products. So that it sometimes limits you because there are a lot of materials you can't work with. They're just not available or they're too expensive in India. The challenge for us and everybody else is to expand the market. India is a huge country, and if you're not doing products for the majority of the population, then we are missing out on a very big market.
One of the big challenges is we need to have people, I need to have lots of conversations with people around who have the ability to mash up stuff, who have the abilities to, you know, so I mean that's one challenge, how to keep reinventing our style and our stuff. That's one big challenge. The other is, like I said, I mean, the way we have defined our market is of popular, accessible art. But we don't know if somebody would even you know, take out 2,000 rupees to buy a piece of art, because I think as a society we're just only learning to appreciate and buy art, and it's there in the top end. It's there for people who have a sort of a name and a credibility and a brand in the market. So that's a big challenge, to create that name and to demand a sort of a premium for that. So and the third channel would be to always keep on reinventing the grammar, because by definition popular changes. So we got to quickly learn and change, and you know, so that boredom doesn't set in.
One of the good things is that our culture is so vibrant, and it's got so many things, so many stories, so many facets to it, that there's really no challenge in finding something to talk about. There's never been a time when we've thought, okay, what's next? You know, you just have to observe, carry a notebook, sketch, things like that. But one of the important things when you do a product which is kind of inspired by India is to make sure that it's proudly made in India. It's got the quality which is really good. It's so to say global quality, because you're talking about things, and you don't want people to come back and say that, oh, it must be made in India. I mean, we want to say proudly made in India.
No, it's encouraging to see the kind of people who are using our products. It's not just, you know, it's not just very young people. You have people in their 40s who can afford very international brands and very sophisticated products. They buy our things, and we're not sophisticated. We're just a lot of fun. But I guess at somewhere it appeals to them at a level where a foreign brand might not, because we speak their language. So there are certain products of ours which people have carried for all their cousins and NRI friends abroad.
The point is, even a 55, 60, 65, everybody has a sense of humor. Everybody loves wit, humor. Yes, they might not want to wear a very graphic, colorful t-shirt, but they wouldn't mind, for example, taking it back for their, son-in-laws or, grandchildren. So I think everybody is trying to understand what the brand is. There's a story to it, so they understand it. And then they are able to find their output and their use for it, utility for it.
It appeals to an artist at a different level, and it appeals to the common man in a slightly different level. Not all people will go for a quirky, funny, irreverent, very colorful, kitschy stuff when they're redoing their house or their offices. But then we don't appeal to all the people. Or there are, in their workspace or in their home space, there are areas which are maybe no for quirky, irreverent stuff, but maybe in the entertainment room, maybe in the young son, daughter's room, in the kids' room, they are willing to experiment. Then there are a lot of companies who are there in the media entertainment space. So in any case, I mean, those companies themselves are like quirky and irreverent. So there we fit in very well. And like I said, I mean, everyone is chasing the young market, the youth market, and so therefore we sort of fit in a lot of spaces. Of course, for a lot of doors are closed because we are not sophisticated, because we are not very stylized, in a highbrow art kind of a manner. But then, I mean, we are willing to explore even those markets in the time to come.
Personally, I feel that the really kitsch, truck art kind of stuff and Bollywood cushion covers and Che Guevara images they should die. Yeah, they've been overdone and everybody's done them, and one needs to move on. There's a lot more that this country offers than these visual images. So I'll be very happy when they're completely out of the market and they don't sell.
I just feel like it's just the top. Like right now, we've just kind of started this energy. I mean, there's no end to it. There's only exploration. There's only more depth. There's going to be more forms. There's going to be more output. There's going to be interpretation, and I feel just to think about any kind of end to it, there's no way. I mean, I just feel that it's just going to evolve into many other things that are going to be really exciting and interesting for us to see.
India's appetite for color, and not just on a random t-shirt but life in general, has led to an explosion of sorts. Relaxed censorship and economic liberalization has given way to what we may call the Indian popular culture. Everything that is a part of this popular culture has risen out of what the customer demands and not merely what the producer supplies. The quirkiness has arrived in our local markets and is here to stay.